Welcome to this demo of Engage One Digital Designer. Now I'm going to start this demo in the inbox of a customer who's received a notification that a new interactive portfolio statement is available. So he clicks on the link. Now you may think, well, that wasn't very secure. You clicked on the link and you went straight to the portfolio statement. Well, that's only because this user actually gave permission to go straight to the statement after having logged in once. Because this technology actually can create a fingerprint of not just the browser, in fact 32 parameters to do with the browser, like which plugins it has, but also based on 32 parameters of the physical device that the user is using. And then it assigns these as a fingerprint and places them as a cookie in the browser. And when the same device is being used, then you can optionally have secure links like the one you just saw take you straight into a portfolio statement like this. Now this portfolio statement has many aspects to it, amongst them the fact that it's fully responsive and interactive. So it's responsive in the sense if I want to see what it looks like on a mobile, on an iPhone 6 Plus, up here, that's what it looks like. If you rotate the device, it adjusts accordingly as well. It's also interactive in the sense that I can interact with the data here. I can look at my performance to date since inception, and I can hover over to see the different values. Now scrolling down a little bit, some information such as this summary information, allocation of holdings, gain loss summary, it's also being presented in a highly efficient way to give a nice interactive experience. It's being presented as a series of tabs. I have the possibility to allow the recipient of this communication to interact through links within the communication like we see here. The chart here is interactive too, and we also have some recommendations here, some buy-sell recommendations. And again, through links here in this interactive communication page, because it's a secure communication, can allow the recipient of this communication to execute any of these recommended trades. And here we got the tabs again, as we saw earlier. Here we got a holdings table, and it's searchable and sortable by different criteria. So the user can really interact with the data as they wish. And if we look at this one more time in the mobile view, on the narrower screen, we can see what it looks like. We see things like the table are updated dynamically. We also have the ability to link back to physical communication, a PDF. So you could even use this, for example, if you have a PDF communication and you want to use this as a kind of a mobile optimized summary of that communication, you can link back to that communication too, either by integrating with Engage One On Demand to produce it, or by integrating with your archive to view the communication, like so. Okay, now you're probably asking yourself, okay, so how do you go about designing this kind of communication? But before we do that, let's just also look at how we can incorporate responsiveness, not just in the browser like here, but in emails too. So one of the other emails I have in my inbox here is a responsive email. And we can see it's responsive by virtue of the fact as this window gets narrower, the logo at the top adjusts so it fits perfectly. We see also, for example, this View Now button, which is not the full width at wider widths, becomes a full width on narrower screens. And likewise, these offers down here, we have the image above the text, and at wider widths we can show them side by side. So now let's take a look at how we go about designing these kinds of communications. So inside Engage One Digital Designer, when you log in, you come to a dashboard where you can see what interactions have taken place, and you can see not just that the messages have been opened a certain number of times, but you can also show more details to see on what device the user was viewing it, or you can view in details of who's been viewing it all of these different times. But we're going to create a new communication for now to show you the responsive designer. So we're going to say new communication. I'm just going to call this demo for now. We're going to design an email and an associated interactive communication page. So the wizard, which is all available within a browser. It doesn't require any kinds of plugins whatsoever. It's all based on HTML5. So first we're going to design a simple email notification. Like so. Let's add some text. It's all drag and drop. So say dear, let's incorporate some data, the customer's first name. Please find attached your secure, interactive, responsive statement. And now we'll make a link to that statement. We'll just have a textual link for now, so let's just call this statement. But I can very easily link this to the statement like so, and let's just position this where we want it. So align it to the center, and let's make the blue the similar color blue to the logo up there. Now we'll go on to design the ICP, the interactive communication page, and we'll start this one from scratch as well. So again, let's start off by bringing in the logo image. We'll this time just be a little bit different. Let's bring in a video as well. This could be a personalized interactive video, but for now, let's just, I've got some links here. This is one of my other demo videos. I suppose this was an advert, a YouTube video promoting your mobile app. Then you'd probably want to have some buttons to be able to download the app as well. So let's create those now. So we'll create one for the App Store, and let's create one for the Google Play Store as well. Like so, we also need, for those images, you need to specify where they're going to link to. So we can go in and define the link. So for the App Store, it's this. And we want some text or a business-friendly name for the description as well. So in our reports, we can see when the user has clicked this and recognize it. So we'll call this the iOS mobile install app, and the other one we'll call Android. Get the URL in there again. Okay, now I also want some text in there, of course, so this will be, let's say it's an account overview for a particular account. And any other data we want to put in there as well. Now I'm going to show you the strength of the responsive designer. So this is how this communication would look at a full width, and we can also then start designing how it should look on a narrower screen, like at 480 pixels wide. And then we can redesign the layout for that smaller screen in a WYSIWYG fashion. So let's make the video a bit bigger, like so. We could make the App Store buttons a bit bigger as well. It's a little bit too big maybe. Like so. So this is what it will look like on a narrow screen, and this is what it will look like on a broad screen. Then we can just go on through the steps. define how we want to deliver this. So we'll call this Commercial Constitution Bank of Boston. We're going to be sending it through our e-messaging system. We can add some data into the subject line as well. So add the account into there. And let's call this ccbob.com unsubscribe, and the disclaimer will just say CC Commercial Constitution Bank of Boston as well. And then down here I have the possibility to connect to different e-messaging, or nowadays we call it digital delivery, profiles for the actual sending of these messages. And when I say next, this is now actually ready to be called via an API. But for this demo, I'm not going to call it via the API. I'm going to upload a CSV file, and both through the API as well as through the UI, I can specify a send time, or just say I want to send it now, and this will trigger the communication. So momentarily a new communication is going to be sent through here. And there is the communication, the link to the statement, and when we click on it, we have the communication that we just designed earlier, and we can see what it looks like on a narrow screen and a broad screen, like so. Now you may be wondering about this email notification and how this one is fairly simple compared to this. So in the current version of the solution, you're able to do responsive email design by way of importing templates into the designer. In the January release, you'll be able to design these responsive templates from scratch. But importing responsive templates into the designer is actually extremely simple too. So you can just go into templates, and I have an example that I can import here. So this one here, this is what my template looks like. It's just HTML. I can pre-mark up the variables I want in there. I can also pre-mark up which areas I want to be editable in the editor. So once I've done that, I can basically take that HTML, combine it with a schema.txt, which is basically defining my fields and the document type. Document type 2 is suggesting it's an email template as opposed to an interactive communication page, an SMS, or a push notification. And then this zip file I can very simply import back in here, say new template, just one, and now it's generating a thumbnail for this communication, and it will be available if I was to design another communication immediately. So if I now do another one and say new communication, let's call this demo 2. The template I just imported is available for me to use, and I can start editing the text and the fields, or adding new fields, like so. Okay, so that concludes this demo. I hope you found it interesting. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like to dive a little bit deeper. Thanks for watching.